It's Monday, public holiday here in New Zealand. There's meant to be a really bad storm today, but it's only just started raining here. It's about 11:30, so we'll see if it gets worse. This is why I went for my big long bike ride yesterday, because I knew the weather would be bad today. But I've been out working on these Riley guards this morning, and basically getting them ready for final welding, and they've come up really well. So you might remember one guard had a bit of a I guess like David Bowie in Labyrinth, a bit of an unsightly bulge on one side. So I had a look at why that had happened, and I actually commented on it in the last film about if the pieces of metal are all cut to the right size, they should go together the same. One thing I forgot to check was the width of these, and my short piece, I think I must have got it turned around, and it wasn't exactly the right width. It was about a 1/16 of an inch wider than this piece, and that was enough to put a big wobble in the side of this thing. So the way I fixed that was I used a thin cutting disc on the angle grinder and basically sliced through the join and then shrunk it up and re-welded it, or re-tacked it. So everything's just tacked at the moment, but the edges have all been hammered to bring them together to make a nice, so I can get a nice weld, and I've ground everything off. What I've found is my little air planisher thing I made is working really well for basically putting the guard on top of the stake like this, and then using that planisher on top of it to hammer that curve into it, and that's working brilliantly. It's extremely loud, so I'm wearing noise cancelling headphones with music on, and it just completely drowns that out, even with the noise cancelling and the music up loud. So reminds me of something like an MG42 going off. It's very loud and very fast. But these are all ground inside and out. For grinding the tacks, what I find works really well is these little flat discs, and you need a new one to get the sharp corner to get onto the inside of that curve. And then what happens is, as you sand, they wear out, and you end up, this one's really worn, but you end up losing the corner. And then once they get to this stage, they stop working on the inside, but they work really well on the outside because there's no edge to dig in. So that's what I've been doing. Start with a new one on the inside, use it until it stops working, and then use it on the outside. So I'm hoping I'll be able to do a nice fusion weld without much filler, so I won't need much sanding and grinding. But I'm pretty pleased with these so far. There's still a few little lumps and bumps and things on them, but I'll sort all of that out once I've done that final weld, because that's all going to need sanding and hammering again anyway. It's definitely starting to rain a bit harder now. But now I think I'll leave those. I may have to put something on them to stop them flash rusting, and then I'll have to take all of that off when I weld it, obviously. I might just wipe it down with some WD-40. I'm going to hopefully do the welding during the week, so it doesn't need to last too long. But yeah, now there's metal grinding dust everywhere. So, and I think I've breathed in quite a bit of it. So I'm going to have a good clean up, good vacuum. And then I think that's all I can do on this for today. I may dig out the fly screen and the mirror and have a look at how I'm going to mount those on the car. The other thing I might do is shorten my exhaust. I want to bring this in as close as I can to this mounting bracket. I may even bring it in closer, and I could look at mounting this a different way rather than hanging it off here. Hang it off the chassis rail down here maybe, so I could bring this in. Not sure. I may not even use that tip. I have heard that they rob power, and they don't actually do anything to silence. No, those are looking pretty good, I think. It's Tuesday night after work, and it's just starting to rain. I keep forgetting it's not quite as loud for you, but when I'm in here and it's raining, it actually gets quite loud because of the metal roof. But we're out here looking at mirrors and Brooklands screens. So I've actually got 3 of these. I got these for the Austin 7, and I've never actually mounted them on the Austin 7, but similar sorts of things. I've got 2 of them. One of them's got a chip, unfortunately. But I also got this one. The reason I got this one is because it actually says Brooklands on it, and made in England. And I prefer the mounting style on these, but these ones have to be mounted flat, or mounted on something that's flat. I didn't like the mounts on this originally until I realized they're actually quite clever, because they let you mount it to a curved surface, because these rotate this way and that way. So these do have an Allen head bolt or set screw in the end. I will change that. They're 6mm thread, so I'll just go for a nondescript 6mm hex bolt, because the Allen head ones just look completely wrong on a vintage car. So this, let's see if we can do it without dropping it, should mount about there somewhere. And not sure how close I should get it. Whoops. Should I leave it so there's enough room that it can fold back like that, or would you just fold it forwards if you need to? I'm not really sure, but it'll just fit. So I can actually bolt it straight through the skin. It's not going to go into any of the framing or anything. I have tried it sitting in the car, and you can see through it, which is good. It's quite handy for a screen. And I've also got one of these for the rear view mirror, but I think I'm actually going to get one of the style that I've got on the Austin 7. This is a little bit small. The Austin 7 one I can get locally. It's like this, and it's on a better sort of ball mount. And I think what I'll do is make a little sort of cowling, I guess you'd call it, for it, which is what they did back in the day. I also have the other side mirror, because obviously the rear vision mirror in the middle of the car won't be any use if you've got a passenger. You can't see past them. You can barely see past your own shoulder. But this one is is it concave or convex? I've forgotten which way around it goes, but it gives you a wider angle. So this one on the side works quite well. It all comes apart. I've figured that out. And what I'm thinking of doing is, because there's nowhere I can easily mount this, I might actually mount it to the side of the screen. So if I can get the glass out, I can bolt that on there like that, obviously with the glass facing the right way. And that fits on there quite nicely. Everything would still move. Of course, if you fold the screen down, you won't have a mirror. But you're not going to fold the screen down very often, I would say. So that may be what I end up doing. Actually, you would still have a mirror because this can rotate. The only thing I don't like is, I like the cast aluminium on this. I don't like the shiny chrome on these. That's not quite right for this car. And I don't like the shiny brass on this. So I think what I will do is dull these down, and I'll probably just put them through the blasting cabinet and just take the shine off them, because I don't want them to look new. So this all looks too new. Same with this. I think I should be able to, it's probably got some sort of lacquer on it, but if I scuff that up a little bit and just let it tarnish, it'll go darker, and it won't look all shiny and new. Same with that bolt. I think that'll work fine. This front cover just pops off. It's sort of clipped on, so you can replace the glass pretty easily if you need to. So that's what I'm thinking of doing with that. And my guards, I'm still waiting for the welding wire so I can do this seam, weld it all up. There's a little bit of a gap there, need to close that up a little bit. There is a little bit of gap filling that needs to go on, but I think that should work fine. And the other thing I have in here is, this is from an Austin 7, but this is a period style seat cover. And it's quite interesting to see how it's made. It's just got this sort of wadding stuff, and there was cotton. Is that cotton? No. Calico? No, not sure. Some sort of material. And you can see how the pleats in this are just folds. It's just kind of folded over and sewn. And then I'm guessing, was that sewn in place? And there are sort of pockets, and it's got this kind of wool stuff inside there. I'd still quite like to see if I can get some of that Confor foam, which is like special space age memory foam stuff. They use it in gliders and race cars and things like that, because I need very little padding, otherwise I'm not going to be low enough down in the car. So, you know, sort of probably 1.5 inches of padding, something like that will be about right. And the seat back will need a bit of padding as well, and that's to bring me far enough forwards. So, I think that's what we'll end up doing. I'll have to see if I can get this glass out carefully. It's just held in with rubber, so I suspect I can just probably carefully pull that out, and then I can get in behind there to either drill and tap that, or we'll do something. But yeah, I'm thinking once I take the shine off everything, it'll dull it all down and it won't look too bad having a weird mismatch of materials. I got these ages and ages ago and I wasn't quite sure what I was going to do. I think the only other alternative is, I think you can get nickel or chrome, both of which again would look too new. I think the brass will dull down a bit more nicely. And I still haven't taken the old MGB for its warrant yet, because the weather's so bad. So we'll get to that maybe next week. On the bike, I'm just waiting for the new shocks, which cleared customs today, so maybe they'll arrive tomorrow or Thursday. Yeah, this one's definitely blown. It's like leaking all over the place now. I'm guessing that's why there's crap all over the rear wheel as well. That's all oil. Luckily, I don't think any will have gone on the brakes, but that should all be cleanable. And a really good suggestion somebody made in the comments, I shouldn't have to take the exhaust off. If I unbolt these, unbolt the top, I'll have to take this rail off. I should be able to lift the rear wheel up and bring this up high enough, or drop it down low enough, that I can get to that bolt. We will see. But The other thing I should do is really advertise this one. I don't really need 3 bikes. And I don't really have any interest in going off-road. I'd rather have this one on the road. But, yeah, but that's all we're going to do tonight. It's horrible and wet and rainy, and I want to go inside.